Dr. Elena Vasquez has spent her entire career studying the ocean, but this silence is different. It's too heavy, pressing in from all sides, thick enough to set every nerve on edge. No distant whale calls, no chatter of fish. Just the slow, rhythmic hiss of her own breathing through the regulator. She signals to the others. 3 divers, spread out just a few meters apart, drifting weightless in the deep. A team of experts, researchers, scientists. They're here to study migratory patterns of deep-sea life, equipped with sonar, high-tech cameras, and cutting-edge tracking equipment. But right now, everything feels primitive, small, insignificant. Then, a sound. A sharp, rapid click cuts through the void. Elena freezes. The sound is unmistakable. Dolphin echolocation. But something's off. Dolphins are social creatures, always chattering, always moving in groups. But this is a single burst, precise, focused. She turns, scanning the endless blue. Nothing. Then, movement. A shadow glides just beyond the reach of her light. "Elena," Mark's voice crackles through her earpiece, low and tense. "You seeing that?" She doesn't answer. Because now she does. A dolphin. Alone. It shouldn't be here. It shouldn't be alone. It hovers just outside their formation, perfectly still, watching them. Not playful, not curious. Waiting. Then, without warning, it surges forward. Elena tenses, but just as fast, it stops, turns, waits. A second later, it does it again, darts forward, stops, turns back. Mark exhales sharply. What the hell is it doing? Elena's grip tightens on her flashlight. It's not lost. It's not confused. It's leading them. Another click, deeper this time, urgent, like a signal. The dolphin turns, drifting away, but not disappearing. It pauses just ahead, waiting for them to follow. Elena's pulse thrums in her ears. Every instinct tells her to turn back. Get out. Instead, she kicks forward. Mark stiffens. "Elena!" She doesn't listen, doesn't hesitate, because for the first time in her life, she feels like something is expecting them. And as they move deeper, the dolphin vanishes into the abyss, waiting. For centuries, the legend of Atlantis has haunted explorers, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. Some call it the greatest lost civilization in human history. Others dismiss it as nothing more than a cautionary tale, a fabrication from the mind of Plato himself. A city of immense power, a civilization advanced beyond its time, a place swallowed by the ocean in a single catastrophic event. But if it was just a myth, why does it keep appearing in historical records? Why do ancient maps hint at lands that no longer exist? And why, after all these centuries, does the ocean still seem to be hiding something? No one has ever found proof of Atlantis. Until now. The Nautica drifts silently over the dark Atlantic waters. A state-of-the-art research vessel, packed with cutting-edge sonar, deep-sea drones, and a crew of scientists specializing in marine life. Their mission is simple: track dolphin migration patterns near an uncharted trench, collect data, and move on. For days, the team follows the pod, recording behaviors, mapping their movements. Everything seems routine, until one dolphin breaks away. Dr. Elena Vasquez leans over the railing, narrowing her eyes at the figure in the waves below. It's not playing like the others, not feeding, just circling. "Why is it alone?" she mutters. Mark, her sonar specialist, frowns at the monitor. "I don't know, but it's been doing that for the last 20 minutes. The dolphin clicks, rapid, deliberate. It disappears beneath the surface, only to resurface seconds later, moving closer. It's trying to get their attention. "Something's off," Elena says. "Dolphins are highly intelligent, capable of complex communication, problem-solving, even forming lifelong bonds. They've been known to save humans from drowning, to warn divers of approaching sharks, even to show signs of grief when one of their own dies. But this isn't normal. Another burst of clicks. It turns, swims a few feet away, then stops, waiting. Then it comes back. Mark exhales sharply. It's leading us somewhere. Elena watches the dolphin, her pulse picking up. Everything about this feels deliberate, like a message, like an invitation. She turns to the crew. Suit up! A few uneasy glances pass between them. No one argues. They've been on hundreds of dives before, but this is different. Gear clicks into place. Tanks pressurize. Within minutes, the team is at the edge of the boat, their bodies weighed down with equipment. Elena pulls her mask over her face and gives one last look at the dolphin. It's waiting. A single thought flashes through her mind as she leaps into the abyss. What are you trying to show us? And as they descend, the ocean swallows them whole. The deeper they go, the more the water changes. Elena feels it before she sees it, a shift in the current, a pressure that presses against her, like something unseen is moving with them. The dolphin swims ahead, weaving through the abyss like it knows exactly where it's going. No hesitation, no fear, like it's been here before. Mark's voice crackles through the comms. We're getting close to the trench. Depth is pushing past. Wait. A pause. Then, Elena, look at the sonar. She glances at the small screen strapped to her wrist. Her stomach tightens. The readings don't make sense. The bottom should be a steep, rocky descent, nothing but sand, coral, and the occasional shipwreck. But the sonar is picking up shapes, not random formations, lines, patterns, angles too perfect to be natural. That's not just coral, one of the divers mutters. It's architecture. Elena's grip tightens around her flashlight. That's impossible. Structures like this don't exist at these depths, not unless they've been here for thousands of years. Then, a burst of sound, high-pitched, sharp, almost like a signal. The dolphin. It hovers just ahead of them, releasing another series of rapid clicks before darting forward, guiding them deeper. Elena swallows, glancing at the others. No one moves, no one speaks. She exhales. Keep going. They move cautiously, lights cutting through the endless blue. The deeper they descend, the murkier the water becomes, thick with stirred-up sediment, like the ocean itself is waking up from a long sleep. Then they see it. Massive columns loom out of the darkness, their surfaces worn by centuries but still standing. Stone pathways stretch out beneath them, half buried in the ocean floor. Walls, archways, a city drowned in silence. Elena's breath catches. A civilization. Mark swears under his breath. Another diver reaches out, running a gloved hand over a carved wall. The sediment peels away, revealing something impossible. Elena moves closer, shining her light over the stone. Her heart slams against her ribs. Carvings, not of people, of dolphins, dozens of them, intertwined with figures, not as animals, but as something more. Mark stares at the engravings, his voice barely above a whisper. They worship them. Elena doesn't answer, because deep in her gut, she knows. This dolphin didn't just lead them here. It brought them home. The carvings stretch across the ruins, worn but unmistakable. Dolphins, everywhere, engraved into the pillars, woven into the walls, surrounding human figures in intricate patterns, not as animals, not as prey, as something more. Elena runs a gloved hand over the stone, feeling the rough edges of time beneath her fingertips. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't random. The people who built this place, who lived here, they didn't just coexist with dolphins, they revered them. Mark moves beside her, his flashlight dancing over another set of engravings. Look at this, he mutters, brushing away a layer of sediment. More symbols. But these aren't just decorative carvings. They're instructions, a story. They weren't just worshipping them, Elena murmurs, tracing the lines with her light. They were communicating. A beat of silence. Then, over the comms, another diver speaks. That's insane. Is it? Elena isn't so sure. Dolphins are some of the most intelligent creatures on Earth. They have complex vocalizations, social structures, even dialects within pods. Scientists have long suspected that their language is more sophisticated than we understand. But what if someone, thousands of years ago, already knew that? Mark exhales, shaking his head. Elena, this place, it shouldn't exist. But it does, and it's been waiting. Then, a sound. Low, vibrational, not from their communications, not from their equipment, from below them. Elena's chest tightens. Did you hear that? The others nod, frozen in place. The sound isn't loud, it isn't aggressive, it's a song. The dolphin, their dolphin, appears again, drifting through the ruins. It tilts its head, watching them, listening. Then the ground shifts. A deep, distant groan reverberates through the water, a tremor. Dust and silt billow upward as something beneath them moves. Elena? We need to go, Mark says sharply, already pushing back toward open water. But Elena isn't looking at the ground. She's looking at the chamber ahead of them, a structure almost entirely buried, save for a narrow opening just big enough for someone to swim through. The carvings around it are different from the others, more intricate, more urgent. And then she sees it. A final engraving standing apart from the rest. A map, not of the ocean, not of the land, of the stars. Her breath catches. This place. Whoever built it, whoever lived here, they weren't just looking to the sea for answers. They were looking up. Mark grips her arm. Elena, we have to go, now. Another tremor, this one stronger. The ruins are collapsing. She hesitates just for a second, just long enough for her eyes to lock with the dolphins one last time. It doesn't move, it doesn't flee, it's waiting. Then, as the structure groans beneath them, as the ocean itself seems to tighten its grip, Elena makes her decision. She pushes off the ruins, kicking upward with everything she has, and below her, just before the darkness swallows the city whole. The dolphin disappears. The water bucks violently, sending a thick cloud of silt into the deep. Elena kicks hard, her breath shallow, her heartbeat pounding in her ears. The ruins below them, the ones that had been perfectly still for centuries, are moving. Mark is already ahead, pushing toward open water, his flashlight cutting through the haze. Elena, hurry! His voice crackles through the comms, tight with panic. She glances down, the chamber, the carvings, the map, disappearing beneath the shifting ocean floor. Within seconds, the entrance collapses in on itself, sending a spiral of debris into the abyss. Everything is being buried. It's like the ocean is erasing it. She kicks harder, lungs burning. They break through the cloud of silt, swimming for the surface, the tremors fading behind them. The weight of the water feels different now, heavier, as if something is watching. Then, the dolphins return, not just one, dozens. They appear from the gloom, silent, gliding in formation, their sleek bodies moving in eerie synchronization. They don't approach, they don't flee, they just watch. Mark slows, his breathing heavy. Elena. She doesn't answer, because she understands now. The dolphins weren't just guiding them, they were guarding something. The tremors stop, the ocean stills. And just like that, the city, the carvings, the chamber, the last trace of whatever was hidden here, is gone. Elena breaks the surface with a sharp gasp. The sky feels blinding after the abyss below. Hands pull her onto the research vessel. Shouts ring out. Someone asks if they're okay, but none of it matters. She stares at the water, panting, waiting for something, anything, to resurface. But the dolphins are gone. The ocean is empty. Mark rips off his mask, running a hand through his hair. His voice is hoarse. Tell me you saw that. She nods, slowly. I saw it. The research team rushes around them, but Elena barely hears them. She looks down at her palm, at the small object clenched in her fist. Cold, metallic, marked with the same symbols from the ruins. She exhales. The ocean tried to erase everything, but this survived. Mark stares at it, his expression darkening. Elena, what did we just find? She doesn't answer, because deep down, she already knows. And somewhere beneath the waves, hidden in the darkness, something else knows too. The research vessel drifts in silence, rocking gently against the waves. The ocean looks the same as it always has, endless, unforgiving, deceptively calm. But Elena knows better. She clutches the object in her palm, its surface impossibly smooth despite the years, centuries, millennia, it spent buried beneath the sea. The strange symbols etched into the metal seem almost familiar now, as if they're trying to tell her something. Mark leans against the railing, still catching his breath. His voice is low, tense. So what now? Elena exhales. We document what we can. A bitter laugh. With what? He holds up his dive tablet. The data is gone. Every sonar scan, every reading, wiped. Like it never existed. He checks another device. Same thing. He shakes his head. You think this is some kind of malfunction? Elena meets his eyes. Do you? Neither of them speaks. Because this isn't a malfunction. The ocean, or something inside it, made sure no evidence remained, except for the object in her hand. Collins, the expedition leader, storms toward them, frustration clear on his face. All right, what the hell just happened down there? What did you see? Elena hesitates. If she tells him the truth, he'll call it impossible. He'll demand they go back, send drones, try to find the ruins again. But the ruins are gone. She tightens her grip around the object. We found a site, a structure. But the ocean floor shifted. It's buried now. Collins frowns. Buried? Mark clears his throat. Like an underwater landslide. No way to recover it. He gives Elena a look. They're on the same page now. Collins curses under his breath, running a hand through his damp hair. You're telling me the only proof we had is gone? Elena says nothing, because that's exactly what she's telling him. The dolphins haven't resurfaced. The water is too still, as if waiting, watching. Mark exhales, shaking his head. You think they knew? The dolphins? Elena doesn't answer right away. She thinks of the carvings, the symbols, the way the ruins collapsed only after they had seen them. They weren't just leading us, she says quietly. They were controlling what we found. Mark's face darkens. Or what we didn't. A shiver crawls down her spine. The ocean didn't give them a discovery. It gave them a warning. She looks down at the object in her hand, the only thing that survived. Maybe it was an accident, or maybe it wasn't. Collins sighs, rubbing his temples. All right, pack it up. We head back at dawn. He walks off, muttering something under his breath. Elena stays by the railing, staring at the water, the endless blue stretching toward the horizon. Mark stands beside her, silent. Then, a ripple. Elena stiffens. A single dorsal fin breaks the surface. Not playful, not curious, watching. Then, just as quickly, it disappears. She exhales, her grip tightening around the object. The ruins may be gone, but the secret is still out there. And somewhere in the deep, the dolphins know she took something with her. For centuries, we've believed that humans are the only species capable of complex thought, of storytelling, of shaping the world around them. But what if we've been wrong? What if intelligence isn't just about speech, tools, or cities, but something deeper, something we've barely begun to understand? Dolphins have shown problem-solving skills, emotions, and even communication that goes beyond what we once thought possible. Could they hold secrets about our past, or even our future? What do you think? Are we underestimating the intelligence of the creatures around us? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to keep diving into the mysteries of the natural world, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a discovery. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember, sometimes the smartest minds on the planet aren't human at all.